Hey there, Bookcessors! It's Saturday. Welcome back to Totally Bookcessed. So, this week on Totally Bookcessed, I explain why I've been MIA recently. First of all, I finished my book. Woo! Round of applause, round of applause. I'm busy editing, starting the idea of querying. I'm also a student, which means that I am slowly bringing down my perfect GPA. Something had to go. So another reason why is that we're having construction, which is why I'm in this room, and actually that is my TBR shelf. I am also a booktuber and a blogger, and in fact my blog is kind of in a transitional phase, which those of you who are addicts to MPB, I love you. You've noticed that the amount of posting has gone down because my scheduled posts are running out. And they're running out for a reason. I'm going to end this video with ALA footage that includes John Green speaking at an event for librarians that I and Kelly Celia from Walden Pond Press sat in on, and the snorts and laugh track that you hear is pretty much she and I cracking up at everything he has to say. He's a funny dude. So for those of you who read MPB, I am between that author-blogger stage, and I don't really want to be a reviewer much anymore. I am planning to have little mini reviews up, probably on Wednesdays. The pros and cons, just not putting all my writing energy into reviews. I know that that sounds really cheap, but if you guys want a Gabrielle Carolina book anytime in the near future, I cannot spend so much creative energy trying to personify two different ideals, that being either I loved it or I hated it. Mod Podge Thoughts or Mod Podge Musings. I can't decide which title I like best, so you guys can vote that. Also, let me know if I did blog series, who would you want to see writing on my blog and what you would want them to write about. I want to hear as many different thoughts, and there are no bad suggestions here. I want to hear all your ideas. I want to know about who you want to see write. Not necessarily all YA, not necessarily all published. Some bloggers would be great. I would love to do a series with bloggers about something. Let me know what. Please, this is your time to get your thoughts in about Mod Podge Bookshelf. It is not going away. It is changing. It's transitioning. I think I'm going to be back and better than ever by March at the very latest. Maybe April, I should say, at the very latest. Yop! Loudly, oh readers. So now on to John Green, who will say everything much better than I ever could with pretty words. He talks about Pippa and SOPA, and he also talks about why, as a writer, online media is so important to him because he always wants to be talking about ideas that he has with his readers, and I fully understand. I always want to be talking about what I'm going to write, or what I am writing, or the idea that just popped into my head. So there you go.
It's like 4 years to write a book and then another year for it to come out, and that can be frustrating for me as a writer, because I want to be talking all the time with my readers about the stuff that I find interesting and the stuff that matters. So one of the reasons that I like online media so much is that it's a way of doing that, and I can still have space for those long, quiet, contemplative conversations that one has when one is reading or writing a story. I can still have that very weird and nebulous and beautiful sense of co-creating something. I mean, this is the one thing about books that the internet will never do. It has nothing to do with whether you read in print or on a screen, because you are translating these meaningless scratches on a page. These, like, whenever I get like the Chinese editions of my books, I don't even know what book it is, right? Like, I have to like take a picture of it and tumble it, and then someone will tell me. Be like, is this paper grounds or looking for last? And then someone will email me and be like, looking for last. I'll be like, okay, I'll put it on that shelf. Because I don't know how to translate those scratches on a page into ideas in my head. Even though I wrote the story, I have no way of creating the story, because that's not a language that I know how to decode. Because there's that act of abstraction, because language is itself symbolic, particularly printed language, The reader has to create the story in a way that a viewer of a movie or a television show or even a YouTube video doesn't have to create that story. You know, like I lived in Holland for 2 months when I was researching this book, and I watched this Dutch horror movie called Sinterklaas, which is their Santa Claus, and it's about a bad Santa who goes on a killing spree of beautiful Dutch women, and then he is caught and killed. I don't speak a word of Dutch. This movie had no subtitles, but I just told you the plot. And I was able to follow along quite nicely with the visuals and the music telling me how to feel and what was happening. When you're reading, that act of co-creating something with the author, that act of us making it together, us making a thing real that will only exist in your mind for this period that you're reading it. There's nothing like that online. That's very valuable to me. There need to be smart regulations on the internet to prevent piracy. But piracy is already illegal, so I'm not worried about making piracy more illegal. When something is against the law, it's against the law. So, thank you all so much.
Woo! So stop by the blog to let me know all your thoughts and also leave them in the comments below. Bye, you guys.